Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second episode of LCP D&D. Last time, our special agents got up to a little bit of a scuffle in a train station where they tried to capture the Baudelaires. Brian ended up, or Thomas, I should say, ended up canoeing the skull of one of the vampires with a bullet. The ritual got off. So we're going to open up back where you guys were. The surviving Baudelaires, Nicolette and Marie, have been removed from this train station. You guys are kind of gathering yourself afterwards. And yeah, what's your next step? What do you guys want to do?
So first thing I want to address is I received some feedback that I did not have a very good character voice. And so I'm switching his voice up a little bit. And now he will be using more of a Fae-Touched accent, kind of reminiscent of Boston.
Boston.
And so and I guess to start off here, I'd like to check the train car that they were in and look around for clues.
All right. And what do you want to do, Tom?
I just want to admire Chris from a distance.
Admire? Roll for admire. I need you to add your admire skill onto it and give me an admiration check.
Did the guys so did a policeman haul everybody off already?
Yeah, the ladies have been brought back to the station.
It's just us and a dead body now?
No, I mean there's a bunch of other cops around and they're shooing out the general public and getting them, out of the building and kind of gathering up other evidence and things like that. And so right now there's a bustle of activity, but nobody's currently right next to you. No.
I would like to get a vantage point of the city. We're up on a platform, right?
Well, right now you guys are down. You guys are down at the bottom of the stairs. That's where you handed off the Baudelaires.
So the entrance to the train station goes, you go in and you go forward and it goes up the stairs and then there's the platform for the train, right? So it's elevated.
Correct.
So if I went up on the track and started walking around, would I get a better vantage point of the city?
Yeah, definitely.
I'd like to do that.
Okay. So let's go and deal with Faulk real quick. So Faulk, you approach the train slowly and you see Jean-Luc's body is laying there. Quite a bit of blood has kind of collected in the area, but it's already starting to coagulate and dry a little bit. And next to his body, you find there is an old sheet of parchment and a small black box with gold writing on it.
All right. Well, I guess first things first, I want to check the sheet to see if there's any written language I might be able to understand on it.
All right. What languages do you speak?
Let's pull out the handy-dandy character sheet here.
He speaks Boston. He already said that.
Well, this was me, the player, talking about a character sheet. I don't think Faulk knows what a character sheet would be.
Hold on. Let me see what languages I speak.
All right. Yeah, I speak Draconic and Common, and then I guess I would speak... I got 2 extra languages other than that, so we'll go with Elvish and maybe Dwarven.
Okay. So you don't recognize this language that's on the sheet, but it's a very pointed looking language. It's definitely the way that it's written is it's similar to Draconic, but not close enough that you can decipher anything from it. And the box has the same type of writing on it. It's the exact same language.
All right, and would I be able to roll to see if I even could identify what language it would be?
Yeah, you can, absolutely. Make me a history check, please.
So it's 11 plus 2, 13.
You're pretty sure that it's Abyssal, the language of the lower planes, demons, things of that nature. But you also know
Not
that
Abyssal,
Abyssal...
like the vacuum cleaners?
No, not at all, sir. You notice that the black box is it's about a foot and a half long. It's coffin shaped, and it's got just a bunch of that writing and gold leaf inlaid into the writing, and the box is currently open and nothing is inside of it.
You know what? I just realized. Last episode, you said I should give you disadvantage since you're close range, and you didn't, so it doesn't actually matter. But I just realized I'm a pistol expert, so I don't get disadvantage from adjacent enemies.
Oh, fair enough.
Fun fact.
Fun fact. Good to know.
Can I check his person?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that would be... Oh, go ahead.
You don't have to roll for it. So
okay.
he's got 15 N marks on him, which is the paper currency that's used in the Imperium. He has a set of keys, and he's got a small dagger on his belt, and then his clothes, and that's it.
And what kind of clothes does he have?
He has they're not bad for somebody that lives in the confinement. He's fairly, I wouldn't say well-dressed, but overdressed in comparison to a lot of people that live in the confinement. He's got on, an older vest with pinstripes. It's not well laundered, but at one point it was a very well-made garment. And then he's just got a cotton shirt under it and then brown slacks. But again, the stitching on the clothing is fairly high quality, but just not well laundered.
All right. And
I'm going to go over to Brian for a second and deal with him while you're thinking of more questions. So, Brian, what are you looking for while you're... so you kind of clamber up. Let's say, how about you clamber on top of the train, probably, eh? That might be your best vantage point.
Yeah, and it ups my cool factor.
Okay, right on. So you clamber up on top of the train. What exactly are you looking for? Like, what's the end goal of trying to get...
I just want to see what everything looks like. There was this crazy rumbling and an earthquake, and he summoned some sort of demon. I just want to know if
everything seems fairly normal, other than the fact that there's lots of carriages on the outside and lots of police officers ushering people around, and there's a lot of people that are outside and kind of just gawking, looking up at the train station and wondering what the hell is going on, but. Other than the fact that clearly this is the aftermath of something going down, you can't tell anything different in the city at all.
I'm going to try and jump off this thing. Do I need to do an acrobatics check? I'm going to try and do a backflip.
Yeah, you absolutely do, yes. Oh, can't capitalize it, I don't think.
Well, I guess we can move on to Chris.
Yeah, you jump down just fine, but you don't backflip.
Okay, that's fair.
Faulk, anything else?
Can I roll an investigation to just kind of look around the car, see if there's anything I could have missed before I step out?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, and that would be 11 plus 5, so 16.
All right. Well, you see that there was you can find where the bullet, the kill shot from Brian landed on the other side of the train car from the door that you entered in. And
okay.
Realistically, though, other than that, there isn't a whole lot to find here. They weren't in here for very long, and so anything else seems like it would have been something left over from one of the passengers that would have gotten off when the train arrived, if that makes any sense.
All right. So, I'll step outside the car and meet back up with... is where Tom is, did he do his backflip, like, right next to where I am?
Well, he didn't backflip. He just jumped down. But, yeah, he jumped down right next to where you're at.
All
yeah.
Right.
His roll didn't work, so we decided that he didn't backflip at all.
Okay.
But you just wait, folks. When I buy my physical dice, I'm going to be backflipping everywhere.
So I'm kind of hoping now that you guys will, in character, kind of talk about what your next move is going to be.
All right. So, I checked out the body. you you got a good shot off on him. And there's a strange black box and a scroll of writing and stuff, and everything was written in this old language, abyssal. I can't read it, but yeah, it's pretty weird. The box, it's actually shaped like a fucking coffin, and I have no idea what that means. He did have a set of keys, and we could probably go and check out his apartment. And he also had $15 on him if you want to go and get yourself lunch later. And he hands the $15 over to Tom.
I've nothing more I want to do here.
Okay, so you want to hit up the office before we go to the apartment?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
All right, so you guys exit the station, and you talk to one of the officers that showed up and to arrest these vampires for you guys, and you manage to hitch a ride back to the station so you don't have to walk because the train is down currently, and so for right now that's your only option. It doesn't take that long. HQ is downtown. It's a large windowed building, which is actually kind of jarring against the skyline because the majority of buildings in Farport have. So people tend to be kind of eccentric in Farport, so they really try hard to make their architecture fit their personalities, and so a lot of the neighboring buildings and things like that for their varying businesses often will have, so like the cog manufacturer, you know, his building has sprockets incorporated with the architecture in different ways and things like that. So just this giant stone windowed building in the middle of downtown is kind of a very noticeable and very jarring type thing, but you know, it's where you guys work, and so you head on into FIA HQ, and your offices are both next to each other down in the basement. And so, do you guys want to head to your offices first, or what do you guys want to do at HQ?
Wow, sounds luxurious. You stick us down by the pipes.
Well,
hear the toilet flush above
us. Before we get into that, does the walk back to the office count as a short rest?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so I'm going to use a hit die. All right, I'll get 4 of my hit points back.
Righteous. Are you hurt at all, Brian?
I don't know. I didn't know I had to save that stuff, so I deleted it.
Oh my god.
I thought once the fight was over, you reboot.
No, not at all. So from now on, when you write that stuff down, please keep it.
I only remember losing like a couple points of something or other.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I know that for a fact. We could just say that you're at full. It's fine. But just for future reference, yeah, you should keep that stuff.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. So, I'll go to my office. Can I roll to see if like I would have any sort of information? Like I collect a lot of books.
So here's one thing that I do want to mention to you guys, though, too. This is where they would have taken the Baudelaires that you captured. This is where they would have came for processing. So if you want to interrogate them, you can also do that while you are here.
All right. Would I be able to roll to see if I have like any information on, say that like vampire all fall there?
Are you going down to your office right now, then?
Yeah, in my office.
Okay. So when you actually get down to your office, Niles, your secretary, who's also Tom's secretary, he works for both of you basically, but Niles is standing there, and he's got another officer, looks like a junior agent, who is currently waiting, and Niles looks kind of annoyed with him, and the junior agent looks up at you and goes, "So I heard you guys are hunting vampires, and from now on this is going to be you, Vaughn." So basically, just to set the scene, you're interested in trying to help them pursue whatever is going on because you heard, you saw the ground shake, you saw the sky turn black, and you heard that there's vampires involved, and you're interested because that's a good way to make a name for yourself. Because vampires are kind of like the mafia in Farport.
Okay, gotcha.
If you can bring them down, it's gonna get you from a junior to maybe a full-fledged agent.
Okay, gotcha. Hey, fellas, what was all that commotion I heard about over down at the train station?
Oh yeah, you heard about that, huh?
Kind of hard not to.
Yeah, we had some. Yeah, we had some sharp teeth trying to skip town against orders of the Imperium, and they got some ritual over on us. Whole sky went dark and all that sort of shit. Had earthquakes. It's pretty weird.
Well, damn. Sounds like a fun party. Don't suppose you have room for one more in that?
I guess if you think you might be able to help. Yeah, you're right.
Well, don't be coy now.
Just watch and learn. Come with me. I got some stuff in my office I need to look through.
Don't mind if I do.
So I take him into the office.
Yeah, go ahead and make a roll. Let's call it investigation, maybe.
For
right.
my character?
No, for Faulk.
All right, so 19 plus 5, so 24.
Oh yeah, so you have a book about that, and so you start flipping through different pages and setting that book down, and nope, grab a different one, nope, and then finally you get to the passage that you're looking for, and you turn around the book and slam it down on your desk, and inside is a picture of a gentleman with a very, very pale face, very pronounced canine teeth, and under it says Strad von Zarovich. He's got a very regal sort of outfit on him. You could tell that he might have been royalty, 400 or 500 years ago or something like that, and basically what the passage talks about, and you already remember this, you don't even have to go any further as soon as you see the giant picture. The passage talks about a man who wanted desperately to live forever because he felt that he had more to offer the world, and that he needed to have an unlimited amount of time on this planet in order to fulfill his goals. And the gods decided to curse him. And that curse was vampirism. And basically he was cursed with undeath and with having to walk the rest of his days feeding on the people that he once ruled over.
All right, should I describe the office while I'm in here?
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right, so we already kind of described it. It's full of books. Like, this is not a very well-kept office. Like, books are just stacked up. Most of them aren't even closed. It's just open book, stacked on open book, stacked on open book. And Faulk just kind of remembers where he was at in, like, all these things, like, with pretty quick, going through them and stuff like that. There's also, like a sort of pegboard with a map of the, world map basically, but also laying over that world map in certain places are sections of like other old maps that are like ancient, and they're all like pegged on top of it with also like just tons of thread connecting a bunch of these things, and like article clippings everywhere, and like a quicker look on like all these little details is so much of it has to do with dragons and like old texts about dragons, like even myths from what would be considered children's books and fairy tales in these places, mm-hmm. And even like artist drawings of dragons everywhere, and then a big sort of, not exactly a poster, but like a painting of a dragon with "I want to believe" written on it.
Tristan sort of resets his hat, gets it comfortable, and looks around and whistles. I don't suppose there's something you want to tell me about, but with all these dragons all around, do you?
Well, let's say, do you know that everywhere in this world, people used to believe in dragons until about, a few hundred years ago? all stopped. Doesn't seem weird to you? Also, there's been whole villages and cities wiped off the map, even in recent memory. And nothing ever written about them, you know, just like they disappeared. Even folks that work here with us.
You hear in the background, Niles kind of sighs and goes, "Now why did you get him started?"
Yeah, you know, people like to just shrug it off and act like it's nothing, but there's too many things there.
Pause. So, like, where are you getting all this shit? Like, are you just making stuff up right now?
Yes, Brian.
It's called roleplay.
Well, I know, but you're like developing Tim's world for him, and that's what's been confusing.
That's fine. That's A-okay. That's what I want you to be doing. How many times do I have to tell you?
I don't get it.
Sort of a cooperative world development.
I think I've said those exact words. And I think I've said those exact words multiple times. God damn it.
It bothers me. I don't understand why. I don't understand,
Well,
how you can be telling a
well,
story
I at
and
least
working...
want to give credit where due. I didn't come up with a lot of this stuff. Chris Carter did.
Here's the thing.
You gotta leave this in, Brian, because this is fucking...
Yeah, this is gold.
Like, I don't understand, like, in telling the story, I feel like you're controlling your story, and then somebody else comes along and they start writing their own story, and it's just going to get all convoluted and messy, and, like, I don't know why I would even, like, try to write my own, like, world into this when I don't know where you're going or where Chris is going, and it's like, where am I going then? Like, it just seems confusing to me.
My job is to join it all together. That's literally what my
it's
job
our
is
story.
to try and weave it together.
Okay, but then what am I working towards if you're just gonna, like, hijack my story? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, it's collaborative. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nobody's hijacking anything. Like, you're thinking about it all wrong. Like, you're going about it the complete wrong way because you're trying to say that one person has any ownership. Like, this is all ours. Like, we're all creating this together, and things that you guys develop will be things that will recur and continue to happen in the story because you've developed it. You know what I mean?
It's like we're writing a plot for a theatrical film, and we're all contributing to different plot aspects of the story, and we all have to work together to make those plot aspects fit together.
Yeah, and like Tim's doing all the stuff that we can't know, possibly. But it's up to you to develop all the stuff that he can't know based off of your personal character. And so, like, you can make up whatever you want with, like, why Tom is a priest, like how he got to Farport, you know, all this kind of stuff. Those are the curveballs that you can throw him, and he can throw the curveballs of, like, you know, all the stuff that's going to happen to us at us.
it just seems so strange and difficult to me because I don't know anything about Farport, so I don't know how I would write my character unless I started making up all this shit about Farport, and then Tim would be like,
That's exactly what you do,
Yeah,
and
just
that's
do
what's great, is that he then has...
It's weird because, like, what if I'm like, well, Farport is this like weird Hawaiian native land, and suddenly he's like, what? But we're doing cowboys, man. Like, and I'm like, well, like,
Well, don't fucking do that then. Like, you know the tone that we're running with, Brian. If you stay with the tone, it'll be fine.
Yeah, it's like we sort of have a basic framework, and then you can sort of take smaller deviations within that framework.
I guess I don't know.
So here we go. Like, I'm about to leave my office and walk into yours. This is your chance to build a whole world that is Tom DeWeese's office and, like, his part of this world. So can we unpause now?
Apparently, we never paused.
Game on!
Well, you did say pause, and then we... Okay. So, yeah, I walk into Tom's office with the greenhorn here, Tristan, or whatever his name is.
So what's your office look like, Tom?
Well, see, I thought about it a little bit, but I didn't come up with anything because I don't understand why. I didn't really understand why offices' appearances mattered to the story.
I mean, it doesn't. You don't have to. We can cut this out and he could just walk into your office, and you just have a normal ass office.
Okay. If I think of anything, maybe if we ever come back, maybe I'll do it the next time. But if I'm gonna do it, I'd like to do it right.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, go ahead and you walk. So Faulk walks into your office, Tom, and you're sitting at your desk looking over some paperwork, and the rookie walks in behind him.
Yeah, all right, Tom, get this. So that Allfather that that vampire was talking about in that train, it's this ancient guy, Strad Vinzorovich. He was like this royalty that lived a couple hundred years ago. So this guy wanted to live forever, and he basically like appealed to the gods or some shit, and they turned on him and cursed him, and basically made him the first vampire. And like since then, like this curse has lived on to all these unfortunate fucks that got it, and so I'm pretty sure they brought this guy back, and that ain't good.
Which god did they appeal to? I need to make a note so that I don't pray to them in the future.
The book
That I
doesn't
can't
mention.
tell you.
And they did what to him?
They cursed him with basically all the things that make you a vampire, having to kill others and drink their blood, and basically being a monster.
Sounds fun.
I know some men who would consider that a blessing.
And as far as the god that did that, I can't tell you who they were, but the writing on the box and on those scrolls were abyssal. So if we can find somebody that reads that, we might be able to, get one step closer here.
So Tristan, you actually are sweet on this girl in a different department. She works in linguistics, and she just has the cutest glasses. Just the way she wears her glasses and her hair, and you know for a fact though that Junior Agent Patty Jonas speaks Abyssal, and so you guys could probably go and see her if you wanted to bring that up.
Oh, Abyssal. Oh, yeah. If you need Abyssal, then you can go talk to Patty Jonas. Down in... She knows some of that. I don't know how much. Maybe she can give you a hand.
Ah, sounds good. Lead the way, Greenhorn.
Tristan chuckles and shakes his head. Yeah, I suppose I deserve that one. Name's Tristan. Who are you guys?
I'm Special Agent Faulk. This is Tom DeWeese. I will never not laugh at that.
Good, because it'll never stop being funny.
He's a godly man, so just watch your fucking language around him, alright?
If you prefer, we could change my name to Tom DePriest.
Oh.
It's my Christian name.
Oh, fuck. So, you guys make your way through the office building, and you go up a couple flights of stairs, and you get inside it's an open concept room. There aren't any cubicles or offices like happen in a lot of the areas of the FIA, and instead it's just a bunch of people with typewriters kind of sharing information in different pods instead. So like there'll be a bunch of tables kind of facing each other and people talking to each other about different things. It's very noisy. A lot of typewriter sounds going on. The room is just filled with smoke, as many of the people in the room are smoking pipes. Quickly, though, Tristan sees Patty is off in the corner, and she's sipping on a cup of coffee and not currently working. And she greets you. Oh, hi, Tristan.
Tristan tips his hat and addresses and walks up to her and has a sort of what he assumes to be a suave fashion.
Okay.
And he sort of reaches up to her and sort of tickles the edge of her chin with the edge of his forefinger. Hey, sweet thing, how's it going? How you doing today? I was wondering if you could help me and my friends here. They have a little bit of a problem.
Maybe. What seems to be the issue?
So real quick before we move forward, like as we walk into the room and it becomes clear who Patty is, I kind of like start to walk slower, and I kind of pull on Tom's coat a little bit, and like he stops and looks at me, and I'm like, oh fuck, I made a fucking fool out of myself in front of this broad in a bar a little while ago, a couple years ago. She probably still remembers. Maybe you ought to do the talking in this one.
You think that's awkward? This is my ex-wife. Ha! Take that, Tim, you bastard!
Yes, ending like a motherfucker.
No worries. I got you on this one, buddy.
Thanks, pal.
So yeah, what can I do for you guys?
Give me the box. You have the box, right?
I hand him the box. Yeah.
Ma'am, do you understand what this language is?
Well, yes, why is it carved into that box like that?
Can you read it?
She, grabs the box from you and, she says, I would require maybe an hour. I'd have to grab one of my books to, remind myself of some of these characters, but yes, I could translate it.
An hour for this small inscription? I kind of pull Faulk aside, and then I ask him, first of all, how much time do we have? Secondly, how confidential is this letter?
I don't fucking know to either of those questions. I mean, so far, I think we should keep the letter to as, few people as need to know as possible, which is us and her.
I get that it's great that she can translate this thing, but do we really want her to be seeing this? Do we trust her? I mean, we don't know what's written on here.
She's the linguist for the for the agency we work for. I don't see why we'd be keeping it from her. We have no better way, a more trustworthy a person to take it to.
I'll pray to my God. Dear Tim. Dear Tim the Muse. I kind of unroll the letter and I hold it out in front of her. And I kind of try to stand in front of Faulk as he's kind of cowering behind me. How long would it take you to translate all of this?
I mean, I can try and get it done for you faster. I'm just not trying to, set high expectations and then not be able to meet them. It might take as little as a half an hour. I do not know.
All right, so I just kind of start to slink away and kind of start heading towards where like the holding cells would be.
So like as you turn and start to walk away, she goes, "Hey, excuse me, Mr. Are you Faulk Smolder?"
Yes, I am.
You're not.
Sorry, buddy. I tried to cover for you.
Christ. Yeah, that's me.
Oh.
The one and only.
So.
Hey, aren't you the, from the, the thing?
Yeah, you still think dragons are everywhere?
Yeah, kind of do. Yep.
Oh, okay. Enjoy the basement.
Sure thing. He kind of tips his hat to her.
Right.
This whole time, Tristan was kind of looking back and forth between them as they interacted, and then shakes his head and throws up his hands in confusion at their interaction before reaching over and grabbing Patty's hand and giving it a kiss. Thanks, honey. You're a doll.
She kind of blushes.
As I'm like almost out the door, I do turn around and be like, there's a lot of unexplained things that have happened, and then I just walk out.
Is that the equivalent of I was in the pool for Costanza?
Pretty much. Just like the ultimate in
no, you're
getting
stupid.
The last word right before you get out the door.
I love that. Thank you for listening to another episode of Lost Context D&D. But we'll be returning every other Thursday with another installment of our story. If you enjoyed what you heard, please feel free to follow us or contact us with @TheLostContext on Twitter or @LostContextPodC on Instagram or on Facebook at facebook.com/LostContextPodcast. We look forward to hearing from each and every one of you. This show takes a lot of effort on our part to record, to write, to voice, and to produce. So if you do enjoy it, please leave a review on iTunes or follow us on Podbean. Stuff like this really, it helps out a lot if the listeners share it themselves. And so if you do enjoy this and you want to try and help us out and help us gain more listeners and share our podcast with other people, please, by all means, tweet about us or leave those reviews, leave those likes, leave those follows. They help out immensely. Thank you. Hopefully you'll be back to listen to next time. Thanks.